Okay, we're going to do a teardown video of the PS3 Slim. And the first thing that we're going to need is a Phillips head screwdriver. And I'm going to go over the tools that we need to get the rest of it as we go along. So we're going to flip it over. Now if you look here, there is a little door, little ledge, and you usually just take a fingernail, or you can take a little plastic exposure like this. If you don't have any fingernails, stop it. Take your Phillips head screwdriver, and there's a blue screw in here. We're going to take this blue screw out, and this is how we remove the hard drive. So if you can see here, I don't know if you can see that with the camera autofocus, this little plate right here. You just put your finger on it, slide it over, and lift it out. Easy as that. That side. And this little, maybe be able to see that handle, and you just pull on it, and it slides right out. Now, we flip it back over, and there's a set of screws. 1, 2, 3. So you're going to need a Torx T9 security bit, and that's the one that's got the hole in the middle of it. So we're going to remove these screws. My screwdriver is magnetized, but these screws, oh, see, it comes out fine. Pull the third one out. Alright, this is where the warranty void comes into play. There is a pad underneath here with the screw covering it. And it actually says on here, let's flip it over, if I can get you to see that. This thing is nasty. It says warranty is voided if the seal is damaged or removed. Now there are ways to fool this, but I mean, this thing is really old and it has no video on it, but we're going to at least attempt something. I'm going to heat it up and see what happens with my Wii workstation here. It needs some power. Turn on low heat. I'm going to say about 240. Turn the fan down there. Just going to slowly heat up the sticker. Probably not going to work. We can at least try anyway. Alright, sticker should be nice and heated up now. Try to get up under a corner. Should use my tweezers. Alright, and our sticker is intact. It did not tear anything off the back or anything. So we're going to set this aside. So we're going to pop the screws off of here, 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 and here. And this here has no screw underneath it. So there's really no reason to pop this out. Okay? So let's get these removed real quick. I'm just going to take my spudger. Get underneath there. Don't use anything metal. Got one removed. I'm going to go ahead and remove these little plastic ones. They're a lot easier to remove than the rest. Come on. Alright. Remove these little rubber pieces. Yeah, you just pop in there, they're not glued in there. Don't have any sticky parts on it. So I'm going to switch to my Phillips head. Oh, missed one here. Remove this one too. Alright, there's 7 screws. Nope, it's going to work all the way around. I need a bigger Phillips head, apparently. 2.5. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay. Now it's just as simple as flipping it over. Yeah, I already did some stuff there, so that's all we got to do. It should be loose. I'm just going to lift straight up on it. There's nothing attached. Set that aside. So here are the inside components. Our DVD drive, this is our main cooling fan. The heatsink is around it. And this is our main power supply. It's the only power supply. Here are 2 Wi-Fi antennas and our power button assembly. So we're going to start by unplugging this plug and this plug. This is our power plug that comes in from the back. Power supply just slides into 2 prongs that are in the board below it. Flip this over. It's just got 2 clips. Pull it straight up, not it out. These come out very easily as well. And there's a screw here and there's a screw here. And that's what's going to hold our power supply in. So, and it's just a Phillips head. There's that same 2.5 Phillips. These are little smaller screws. I like to keep these separate. Alright, now this thing may seem like it's stuck in here, but it just takes a little bit of force. We're just going to lift it straight on out, and I like to grab it somewhere around these areas, and the back's going to come with it. So sometimes you can't do it all at once. And it's plugged in over here, so I need to kind of rock it a little bit as we pull up, and it comes free. And here you can probably see there's 2 slots, and here there are 2 prongs, so it's just like a wall plug. and it just slides in there automatically. So we're going to put that aside. This tape here, nobody likes, just trash. And I really hate these plugs because sometimes you pull the wires out of them. Sometimes it helps if you can get a little angle on it, but this one seems like it's not going to work out that way. Pull this out of this trace. I see that one's barely in there too, so it didn't take any force whatsoever. Alright, and that's just a hook underneath there. Alright, so there's two screws that hold the fan in. I'm going to remove those. And it just literally lifts out, just like that. And we have our fan assembly, in desperate need of clean. We'll put that away. This is the plug that brings power into the wall, routes it through the power supply first. That's your main connection, so just consider that 110 volts or 220 wherever country you're at. And it goes to the power supply and it gets sent through the prongs. Easy as that. This thing just should lift out somewhat easily, just like that. Set that aside. Alright, so we've got a couple plugs here. I'm going to go ahead and unplug this plug from the motherboard, and this is what goes in to the power supply. And I think it's a 12 volt rail, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that. I'm just going to get it out of the way. It just comes out. And it doesn't really matter because this thing goes in either direction. It's not going to really make a big difference. So let's tape off. Alright, next we have to do is unplug the next thing I have to do is unplug the data cable to the DVD drive, which is right here. I'm just going to rock it back and forth ever so gently and pop it up. And here, you may not be able to see that very well. Here's a clip that holds this little ribbon cable in. And there's this little brown, I guess it's brown. Yeah, that's brown. And this has to go upwards to unlock the ribbon cable. So I just take my spudger, something soft, or fingernail even, and lift it upwards. And now if I get underneath this cable, get underneath it very gently, it should just come right on out. Just as easy as that. Alright, so I'm going to finish taking this tape off. This tape can stay. I might replace it. Actually, yeah, I'm going to replace it with my own tape. After I'm done. Paper stuff doesn't cut it. Alright, so now we have to remove the DVD drive. And underneath here, I'll be able to see it. There's a screw right there. And it's a Phillips head. So we're going to remove this screw. The back's going to pop up a little bit. Alright, so after we have this back screw taken out, we're going to slide it around. Going to lift up on this front case here. That case, it's the power button module, and it just swings down. Now the DVD drive should just angle forward and slide this way, just like that. We'll put that away. Alright, so we have more tape here. I'm going to remove it. And we're going to pull out this ribbon cable. Now this one just lifts straight out. It only goes in one way. There's no clip. It goes right back in there the same exact way, really easily. I'm going to put that away. Alright, so now we have the DVD Blu-ray drive removed. Going to remove a few more screws to get the logic board out. Now this stays until the board gets flipped over, and I'll show you that. Remove the antennas. And there's just two little Phillips head screws. Screwdriver may be a little big for that. On each one of these antennas. Usually that I don't lose screws to these because they are a little bit different. I don't get it confused. I just put them back into the same slot. Just get them started there so they won't come out. So one of these is for Wi-Fi and one of these is for Bluetooth. So the black one is for Bluetooth and the white's for Wi-Fi. So BW, and these just slide. Usually I like to take a spudger again and just come at an angle and pop them off. Just that simple. I'm going to set these aside for cleaning. Remove the screws from here, and this is the top of the DVD tray. Sorry, this is the top of the hard drive tray. There's a screw here. There's a screw right here. And remove, and as you can tell, you may not be able to tell from the video, but there's a little arrow right here indicating what screws you need to remove. But as far as I know, all the visible ones you must remove. So now that we have all the screws taken out, and it's everything that holds in the logic board and the heatsink. So now you should just be able to lift up from the front. No, it has to angle and backwards, so lift it out. Now we have our logic board removed. So now we have our logic board and our heatsink. Now we're going to remove the heat shield, or the electromagnetic interference shield, or EMI, from the back of the logic board. So we have these two clamps, and our GPU and CPUs right here. And these just basically clamp the heatsink to the mating surface of the chips. Everyone knows if you don't have any contact between heat surfaces, it's not going to transfer any heat. So we're going to remove these real quick. I'm going to need a bigger screwdriver. Use a 3.5 for these, they're a lot bigger. Alright, see, these screws have shoulders on them, and so they're not going to be hard to find where these go in the end. They're not going to go anywhere else. These plates are just bent plates. You can see, just kind of bent in a way that when you tighten them down, they're going to apply pressure to the center of the pad. That's usually where these go wrong. And again, all these screws are marked with little arrows. These are going to be a little more tight. It's overhead. Another arrow. Another arrow. Come on. I got something to prop this up with. These are significantly tighter than the others. Got one more screw here. Get a good grip on it. It's like an in-between screw size. Alright, so now we have all of our screws out. We're going to lift up this little back cover gently. And there's our EMI shield. Let's set it aside. We're going to very delicately pry it up. Now usually, you don't need to take a spudger. There's empty areas here that you can put your fingers and back here to pry it up. Sometimes they come easy and sometimes they don't. I like to get underneath here. Oh, see, this one was already set up. We got to angle it from the back. Otherwise, got to get over these little tabs here. Come on, there you go. Now our logic board is free. But there we go. There is our teardown. See, we got little thermal pads here for sitting on a couple different chips on the board, and we do have to remove all this thermal paste. Clean it up good with rubbing alcohol before we put everything back on. And that's it. We're tore down. Appreciate watching the video. Have a good one.